Okay, doing a ride out here at Cat Hard 3. Here's the crew. Got Tom, Chris, Randy, Dane, and Brian, and myself. Got one Beta 300RR, 3 TE 300s, one KTM 300, and then me on the 501 Husky. So we got Randy up ahead here, and we're gonna show you some of the more difficult sections that we rode today. Randy was the fastest rider by far of the group, so he was often out in front. He knew where he was going. I was wearing my pack talk, so I was communicating with the other guys, so we try to stay together. So that's how we kind of worked it out.
Deep mud there.
This is my second time out on the FE 501. Pretty much an all-stock bike with the exception of some guarding I put on the radiators and on the linkage. And I put my flex bar and Scotch setup on it from my DRZ. Oh, and I went to a 52 rear sprocket. I got more plans for it, but right now I don't hate it. You know, as it is, it runs pretty good. I probably will eventually do something with a tuner, pipe, and intake mods. As far as tire setup, I'm just using my standard IRC stuff I like to run. VX40 in the front, 8010, and M5B in the back. I think this one's the 130. I run IRC heavy duty tubes, 14 in the front and 8 or 9 in the back. See, there's a lot of trees down, which is why we have to kind of do some of these workarounds. Nothing too difficult on a bike. I follow Randy up. This one I didn't realize I didn't have to, but it was a fun little hill climb. Any of you guys watching that watch my DRZ race videos, the DRZ is for sale. It's a really nice setup bike and would outrun most any other DRZ just because the suspension and everything's real dialed in. Got it tuned just right with the carb and everything, so hit me up if you want a nice, well sorted DRZ 400E. Randy up there's got a real nice beta. Purchased it from Morgan's in Louisville.
I wasn't sure if you were going to follow me up the hill.
Well, I wasn't sure if I had to, but I just did.
You didn't have to.
He had Gary do all of his suspension setup before Gary went back to England, so he's got a real good hard enduro setup on his beta up there. So anytime I could keep Randy even in view, I felt like I was doing a pretty good job. See, he's kind of getting outside of my view right now. Log jump here. I don't have GPS or anything on my bike, so I know Randy knows where he's going, and the guys behind me know where they're going. Sometimes when Randy gets too far ahead, I slow down and kind of make sure the guys behind me are still coming in the same direction. As we go out on the road here, though, Randy's waiting on me, so now I got somebody to follow again. everybody's caught up, so now we're going to take off again.
There they are.
Challenging little downhills. We'd come up this way on the way out to Turkey, but seems like it's a different trail, almost going backwards than forwards. Kind of skipped a little part there. I was having trouble turning left and found I'd broken my flasher relay off, and it was wedged between my rectifier and my left fork, and I had to remedy that before I could get back up on the trail. I was only able to make right turns only. Yeah, before we went on the ride, I was like, my blinkers aren't working, but that's why I think I'd broken it, but it finally came loose and got wedged during the ride.
Oh, careful there on that left, it's muddy into a cliff.
You know, people say these 500s and 501s don't really like to lug.
Oh, hell.
You know, unless you get the tuner and all that, spend $1,000. But if you just leave them alone, I mean, and don't open up the pipe or intake, they don't do bad. Now, what you don't want to do is open up the pipe or intake without a tuner. So you need a, you know, coordinate those changes with the ECU and the intake or exhaust. But if you just leave it all stock, it's really not awful. I do plan to make those changes because I can tell it's, you know, kind of lean and would run hot in the summer doing this kind of stuff. But it'll definitely lug. It's not bad. At least mine isn't. It's at 18, and I don't know if the newer ones are better or worse, but mine's stock tuned, stock pipe, and still has the reeds.
I wouldn't have tipped that on my 500.
Yeah, so I was the only 4-stroke out here today. Well, these guys are practicing for the Renfro Valley coming up. And I guess from what I'm being told, that's pretty technical, and it's a good place to bring your 2-stroke. I haven't decided whether I'm doing it or not. I don't really know that much about it, but if I do, I'll do it on the 501 because that's kind of my one and only bike at the moment, assuming the 400 sells. Kind of tricky little downhill here. Randy goes left, I go right.
Oh, we got some stuck mud here.
Yeah, so I take the right lane after Randy gets stuck in the left, and it's just fine.
Hi, fast Randy.
Wait for Randy here.
Baylor. Should we turn left?
Seems like we get going pretty good in these little wide open spots, but every once in a while I can see my speedometer and we're lucky to hit 30. Rocky uphill here. Drop her down into first.
Well, that sucked.
Alright.
I had to get that tree cleared, so I was poking into Randy's forks. Or spokes, I said forks. It was wedged right in between his spokes.
Pretty big hole up here on the right. Another boulder.
Yeah, when those trees fall over, their roots take a bunch of sod with them and make these great big holes, as big as your bike.
Oh, some other bikers. Want to tell me?
Maybe another YouTuber, I'm not sure. I can see a camera. So we're heading towards Estree. If you guys never been there, it's got a pretty cool loop that you can go around. It's oftentimes a little more traffic than what we encountered early on. More likely to see people out at Estree than on the cat hard sections. Pretty good rocky section. Roots and rocks. Lucky it was sunny and dry and pushing 60 degrees, so it wasn't very slick. It'd be a lot more difficult if it were, especially with just all the leaves. They get a little bit wet. It'd be pretty slick.
Well, there is a low branch there.
Gonna do a little bypass here.
After you get decapitated, you gotta take a right bypass. Got some horseback.
Idle by the horses.
Yield to the horses.
Well, that's about it. My battery's gonna die here pretty soon.
Oh.
Hope you guys enjoyed the video.
Yeah, okay.
It takes a little bit.
Come a little bit closer to me so I can see what I'm doing here. Make sure I'm lined up before I whack on it.
That's good.
Oop.
More. You got it?
What do you think?
I think that's good.
Can we hit it one more time?
No, you did a great job.